is the part of the show where we are going to talk about Avatar 2 on the way to water. So, spoilers. You've been warned. Okay, I'm going to start now. All right. So, we're going to talk about the plot of the second movie. So, the second movie starts 16 years after the Na'vi first repel the RDA off Pandora. So, 16 years since the first movie. Jake Sully is now the chief of the Omitikaya clan and raises a family with Neytiri, Gamora, which includes their sons Netaim and Loak, daughter Took.
Names.
I know.
Stupid.
Like, he's from Earth, and you're going to name your kids Netaim and Loak and Took. And
You know their real names are like Connor, Hunter, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
They've got their westernized names.
Hunter, Connor, and Jeremy.
I know like all those dudes.
Of course
they've got their sons. They've got their daughter Took. And they've got their adopted kids. So I know they're adopting too. So like they didn't have enough. So adopted kids are Kiri, who was divinely born from Grace's dead corpse. So Grace, who was Sigourney Weaver that got shot in the first movie. Yeah, she was born from Grace's dead blue body. And there's no dad. There's no dad.
How does Jake have kids? Like
he and Gamora?
No, I understand that, but that means his avatar, his like human-made like weird thing.
His
like,
human-made corpse has blue spunk that shoots out of it. Yeah, that's exactly right. So again, not addressed, big plot hole. So yeah, that tree where they connected him and that gave him transferred his consciousness apparently transferred his spunk to the.
I mean, Grace's dead blue body,
and then like
so
sprouted from the.
This is why I'm so mad at. I'm more mad at the second movie. So
is that like a whole scene, like it flowers from the body?
Yeah,
it's not really talked about. So Kiri, who was born from Grace's inert avatar, as they say, inert.
Okay.
So the weirdest thing about Kiri is she's like
Sigourney Weaver.
She's like 14, but it's Sigourney Weaver that did the mocap for it. So Sigourney Weaver is playing this younger version of her blue self, and it's got Sigourney Weaver's face. It's really, really unnerving. Yeah, it's really unnerving.
And it's blue cat her.
Right.
So it's CG on top of CG.
Right. So they had her as a blue cat in the first one. So we already saw Sigourney Weaver as a blue cat. But now we're seeing her as a teenage blue cat, but with Sigourney Weaver's face that was born from Sigourney Weaver's blue cat, but there's no blue cat dad. She was the Jesus.
They put like a young filter on it, and then they took the transform and they just shrunk it a little bit.
Yeah, basically.
And then boom.
So she is the Jesus because she was just born from nothing, essentially.
As one does.
Nobody knows. So the movie, they're like, we don't know. Like she asked, "Who's my dad?" And they're like, "Nah, we don't know." So
AWA, obviously.
Right. So
A&W.
A&W. So there's also their other adopted son is named Spider, like straight up Spider. So he was born on Pandora, and he was the son of Colonel Quaritch. So he was the villain's son.
Blue cat son?
He's human. He's a human.
He died.
So Spider is a human, was born from General Quaritch, the bad guy from the first movie that got shot by Gamora and the arrow. So yeah, that's his son.
Who's his mom?
I was gonna say, is he like an illegitimate kid to this dude?
There's no mom? He's just there?
Not addressed. So, not addressed.
But he has to have a mom.
He's like a little human.
He's human. He was born on Pandora, so who knows? We don't. His mom isn't addressed in the movie whatsoever.
Did he grow gills or something? How does he breathe on this planet?
So he walks around with the mask on that like filters the air.
Those things last forever.
They've just got them. They're on the planet from when all the colonizers showed up. So
our technology gets bombed.
Yeah.
So he walks around with his mask on, but he jumps through trees. Like he acts like a blue cat, but he's a straight up just human with like a loincloth on.
So he's like Disney's Tarzan now.
He's
so
like
we've gone Pocahontas to Tarzan.
He's like what's the kid from the Jungle Book? Mowgli. He's like think of him like Mowgli.
Okay.
So he lives in the trees amongst the other.
Now we got
he's Mowgli. Yeah. Okay. So Spider is Mowgli.
A stupid name too.
I know. So back on track here. So he's Quaritch's son. To the Navi's dismay, the RDA is led by their new leader, Francis. Francis Ardmore is his name. We're just going to call him Francis. So Francis is the new bad guy right now in the movie.
Francis from Deadpool?
Yeah, where's Francis? He's on Pandora. That's the answer to Deadpool's question.
Fuck Francis.
So the RDA has returned to colonize Pandora more. So they lost the fight the first time. So they said, oh, we're just going to come back with more people next time. So Earth is continuing to die. All the resources are going away, and people are trying to colonize other planets and get resources from other planets to try and reignite Earth, do what they can.
It seems like they're doing a bad job at it. They're so focused on the blue planet.
What's this unobtainium do anyway?
Not addressed in either movie. It's an element. It's like an element. I guess it's like...
it's unobtainium.
Yeah.
Is it like when Tony Stark...
It's like vibranium would be to Wakanda is unobtainium is to Pandora.
No, because they can actually get
What are the humans doing with it, though?
The humans can't do anything with it because they can't get to it.
Not addressed in either movie. That's we just know that they need the unobtainium. We don't know what for. Don't know if it's like a fuel source. Does it create nutrient-rich soil that Earth can grow more crops from? We don't know. Nice.
Okay.
Nobody knows.
Okay.
It's literally not addressed in either movie. So
I assumed it run the computer Awa, that is the planet that's connected to the tree.
Maybe. But we don't know that.
And the tree's like the master bus for the computer.
Okay. Maybe. So it's as good of a theory as any. So Francis is returning. Here we go. Bringing humans back to Pandora again.
Francis.
So among the new arrivals are called recombinants, not recombatants, recombinants. So they are Navi avatars, again, that are created by humans, that have been implanted with deceased human soldiers' memories. So they're bringing more avatars.
Zombie avatars.
Kind of.
Yeah. How are they do they put them in there and then they kill them so that they stay in there?
Not addressed. So they take dead soldiers and implant their memories into these new avatar bodies called recombinants. So
okay.
Like I said, there's a lot to trash in this movie that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So of course, General Quaritch has a recombinant body avatar, and he is serving as the leader again. So there is a point in this movie where they're kind of on a ship or a spaceship or something like that, and Quaritch wakes up, and he's got all the memories of Quaritch, and thinks he's Quaritch, but he looks in the mirror, and he's a blue cat. So he's like, oh! So he freaks out because he doesn't realize that he's dead, right? Because when you die, lights go out, that's it. That's the end of the story. So for him, it was really confusing because he remembered being in that fight and he remembered dying, but here he is awake in this blue cat body. So, caught up so far? So now we've got Quaritch, and
I don't understand how he got into the blue cat body, but
it took his memories and put it in there. That's literally what's explained in the movie. They don't go into any further detail than that. They took memories of dead soldiers and their consciousness, I guess, and put them in avatar bodies.
They had to get their bodies and then.
I assume so.
Okay. So they literally brought back every character from the first one. So multiple of them died.
So Quaritch and all of Quaritch's specific cronies in the first movie come back in the second movie as recombinants. So it's literally the same bad guys are coming back again.
The whole cast need a paycheck now, or something? I mean, I haven't seen most of them in a movie in a long time.
Right? So, but all these guys in the first movie only had human forms. They didn't have avatars. So now they come back as avatars. But it's the same bad guys. So they're renting and just reusing the same villains again. But now they don't have the restrictions of having to wear a mask or anything like that. They don't need suits because their avatars can breathe the atmosphere. So they just meander around as blue cats. So Fast forward a year into the occupation, Jake is now leading a guerrilla campaign against the RDA. During a counterinsurgency mission, Quaritch and his subordinates capture Jake's kids. Jake and Neytiri, Gamora, arrive and and they free them. So at this point, we are probably an hour into a 3 hour and 15-minute movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We're still in the forest here. We haven't seen a drop of water this whole time.
Like this in the trailer. Yeah, the whole trailer is like teal.
Yeah. So we're an hour into this movie by this time. Haven't seen a drop of water yet. So
no water koalas.
This is why I keep calling it On the Way to Water, because there was just so much time until we got to see water. So they free their kids. They kill several of Quaritch's men. But Spider gets captured by Quaritch.
Oh,
Spider is Mowgli and Quaritch's son.
Right?
What's that?
That's just his dad claiming responsibility.
So yeah, now Spider is with his dad, but it's not because it's an avatar body that has his dad's memories downloaded into it.
Crazy.
Daddy plus.
So Quaritch recognized him as his son. After the RDA failed to get information from Spider, Quaritch decides we're going to change up our plan a little bit. I'm going to just spend some time with my son, and I'm going to draw him onto our side by killing him with kindness. So they're trying to do like this whole, like, we're going to get this info from you, we're going to waterboard you, we're going to do electroshocks or hook up a car battery to his nipples, whatever they're going to do.
Hell yeah.
So they go from like, we're going to try and force the info out of him to I'm just going to be dad and just get him to trust me.
Playing catch and eating ice cream.
So they're going to play catch. They're going to go eat some ice cream. They're going to go to a Dodger game and eat some Dodger dogs together, whatever.
Oh, hell yeah.
So in turn, Spider falls for all this nonsense and starts teaching his dad about the Na'vi culture and the language and everything. So aware of the danger posed by Spider's knowledge of his whereabouts, Jake and his family exile themselves from the Omitikaya, that clan that they lived in the forest, and they retreat to Pandora's eastern seabourn, where the Metkaina clan lives, and they take and gives them refuge. So the Metkaina clan is the blue cats that live in the water. So they live on... They're water cats. So now they've got like bungalow houses that go out into the water, and everything revolves around the sea, versus the original movie and the first hour of this movie that revolves around the forest. So a third of this movie has nothing to do with water whatsoever. It's just them being stupid. So the family ways, they learn the way of the reef people, as they're called. And Kiri, who is... Sigourney Weaver's goddaughter, not the actual daughter, but, born from Awa or God or whoever, just divinely born from nothing.
Like, she literally, came out of her body, she's kind of like a little clone.
Born that way, I don't know. So she developed a spiritual bond with the sea. And Loak, who is one of Jake Sully's sons, befriends Soraya, who is of the water people, who is the daughter of the chief there. So they become close. So basically, Sigourney Weaver's teenage self becomes a water witch. She just has this spiritual bond with the water and everything in it.
She puts her ponytail in it?
Just shoves it right in the water. So it's not really even explained, which kind of gives credence to what John was saying. Maybe Awa is the father, because she just has a spiritual connection to the ocean at this point, and it's not explained why, really. So, stupid. You've never even seen the ocean before. Here we go. So, and then Jake's son befriends the chief's daughter, so you've got, the prince and princess, if you will. That kind of...
their clans are gonna...
Yeah, they're gonna ponytail it. They're gonna put it in her pony hole.
That's how the old people. That's how they make one empire and two empires become one.
Yeah. So moving forward again. So now we're at a point in the movie where there is a 20-minute segment of blue cats learning how to be teal cats and how to swim. There's literally There is
the training montage like the last,
but it's a 20-minute long segment of them learning how to swim, and it is just overkill. I mean it is just too
cats
much.
aren't usually the. I don't know. Some cats are good, but I've definitely seen a lot of cats that aren't the best in water.
So one thing I haven't touched on here is that all of Jake Sully's children that he has with Gamora have 5 fingers. That's like the human trait that they got from him.
Okay. So they have thumbs?
Blue cats don't have five fingers.
Does that make you better at swimming? It's not
they
like
have
webbed.
3 fingers and a thumb. So all of the water cats make fun of Jake Sully's kids and think they're freaks for having 5 fingers. So
how do the other cats do stuff without the opposable?
They have thumbs. They all have thumbs, but they have 3 fingers instead of 4. So yeah. Gotcha. So they all think that his kids are like freak mutants. Like they make fun of them for it.
They are.
Their tails aren't. They don't have like a kind of finned tail to go through the water because they're the forest people. They don't need it. So they make fun of Jake Sully and their kids and all that. They're like, how are they going to swim in the water with those tails? They don't even have webbed fingers and all this stuff. So stupid.
Rightfully so. They were not evolved to do that.
Yeah. So. Kiri, who is Sigourney Weaver, gets kind of in a scuffle with Aonung, who is of the Blue People's Chief's kids, or the Teal people. So Jake Sully's son, Loak, kind of defended his sister, got in a fight with the Teal Chief's son, and pissed the chief off. So Jake's like, you gotta go apologize to the chief, because we have nowhere else to go, and you gotta make nice with the Teal people. So he has to go do this, and the chief's son's name is Aonung. So Aonung and his friends don't like that Jake Sully's son, Loak, defended his sister for some reason. They just weren't okay with that.
Okay.
So they enticed Loak to a trip out to sea, into a sea predator's territory, like a giant sea monster. And as a middle finger, they're just going to leave him there. So they're like, okay, go swim under the ground, go swim under the water in this cave. You'll see something really cool. So he goes and swims down there. He turns around and everybody left him there. He's in like the middle of the ocean, doesn't know where he is. So
okay,
they just ditch him there. So
they have like boats to get out there, or you just swam?
They just swam the whole way.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, it's a long way out.
Is AWA gonna guide him?
No, but something else does. Dun dun dun. All right, so after being stranded out in the middle of the ocean there, he gets saved from a giant sea beast by what's called a tulkun. A tulkun is like a giant, they're intelligent and pacifistic whale-like species.
I thought we were talking about the dude that wrote Hobbit.
So just giant whales that you could also plug your ponytail into. Like the first movie had the flying dragons that they kind of bond with. This movie's got whales, and the sea clan bonds with the whales instead of these flying things. So
you bonded with J.R.R. Tolkien. And
the whale has a name, and it's Payakan. So they all have names.
Pycan.
So we'll just call him Pycan. So he's a tulkun. Pacifistic whale-like species.
Tolkien.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
The Medcaina consider them their spiritual brethren. So that's the way they grow up together. They know their whale families. So the teal cats are like bonded with them. Like they know the baby whales. The whales swim up to shore and they ask them how they're doing. How is your family doing? Oh, good. How is your family doing? So
through ponytail?
No, they just talk to, like, the whales are, like, making whale sounds, like, and they understand that. So
like Dr. Doolittle.
Right. It's like Dr. Doolittle.
Okay.
So.
Or like how you talk to your dog, like it'll make noise and you talk back and you pretend like you know what it's saying, but you don't really know what it's saying.
But they do know. So, Payakan saves Loak from the giant sea beast. So Payakan, saves Loak. So Loak returns and wins Aonung's friendship by taking the blame for the trip. So originally,
it's like how Jake Sully did it in the last
right.
movie.
So they were pissed off because they're like, "How did you take him out there and leave him out there? You know he's from the forest, not the water. Like you just left him out there to die." So Loak comes back and says, "No, it's my fault." So he just like owns it for the sake of getting Aonung's respect.
And then they
that was like
that.
the protagonist dude in the last movie.
They respect that. So he took the blame and told him that Pycan is an outcast among the Tulkun. So the reason that Pycan saved him is like he wasn't with the rest of the Tulkuns because he's an outcast. It's explained why later.
Oh.
So giant whale saved him, and now Loak and this Pycan become like BFFs. Like they hang out every day in this movie. Like they're swimming together,
like trying to save face.
Okay,
yeah. So they're BFFs now, and he just like all of a sudden knows how to speak whale because they're just talking back and forth like they've known each other for years, which completely makes
like
sense, right?
At some point, they downloaded it by like connecting their ponytails.
That doesn't happen until much later on in the movie. So why he can speak whale or Tulkun doesn't make any sense. So
off camera.
Later on, Kiri links to the Metcaina's underwater spirit tree. So they have an underwater spirit tree for these people. Forest people have their tree, water people have their tree. So she spiritually meets her biological mother, Grace, who was Sigourney Weaver. So it was weird because you're seeing this little Sigourney Weaver with Sigourney Weaver's face talking to grown-up Sigourney Weaver with Sigourney Weaver's face. Yeah, it was not necessary to happen. So they did that. Grace's consciousness lives within Pandora now. So when they took her to that tree to save her and she died, somehow her spiritual...
She is AWOL.
She has like, become part of that whole neural...
Like Obi-Wan.
Yeah. She's like a Force ghost. So... Okay. So during this whole trance, she's underwater talking to this tree. Like she's holding breath. She plugs her ponytail into the underwater tree. So during this whole trance where she sees her mother, she suffers a seizure and she goes unconscious and almost drowns. So
that's probably why she was seeing her dead.
Probably why, yeah. So she starts like tweaking out, having a seizure. She's drowning. The whole thing.
Yeah, quench your thirst.
I'm talking a lot, I know. So Jake summons Norm Spellman and Max Patel, who were the good guys that the Neytiri liked from the first movie that are still human, but now they're in their avatar bodies.
Full time, or are they? Like,
no, they're still not full time. They're just still hooked up to the thing. But the Neytiri, or the Na'vi, have never had any problems with them. They're very respectful back and forth, so they're cool. So they show up with their medical equipment and diagnose Kiri with epilepsy. So even space cats get epilepsy.
Okay.
So they warn
space human cat.
What's that?
Wasn't that the Sigourney Weaver cat?
Yeah, but she was born a cat. Like she was born that way, so she doesn't have a human counterpart.
Sigourney Weaver's cat.
Yeah, so. Sigourney cat.
Okay, Sigourney cat.
Yeah. So she's got epilepsy, and they warn her that she cannot connect to the spirit tree again. Doing so may kill her. May induce another.
There's a lot of flashing lights.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's a lot of colors in that ocean. So a lot of psychedelics down there, man. So Water People's chief, they save Kiri. So they do their thing and kind of nurse her back to full health. Quaritch then tracks Norm and Max's aircraft, who they flew over to save Kiri. So Quaritch saw that, tracked the aircraft to the archipelago where the Metcaina live. So now they know where Jake Sully is. And this whole movie is a revenge movie where Quaritch just literally is bloodthirsty and wants to kill Jake Sully. That's the whole plot of this entire movie.
Like in an avatar suit. Yeah,
now Quaritch is an avatar. Like he is a blue cat. So But he
doesn't like work for the company.
He still works for the RDA. Yeah, he still has all the power of that whole thing behind him. He's got the military.
And he's not
got everything.
That they put him in an avatar body or something like that. He seems like the type that wouldn't like that.
He didn't have a choice. He was dead. They downloaded his consciousness into a.
When you wake up, you usually aren't happy.
What's he gonna do? Just jump off a cliff? I mean, just is what
Avatar.
it is.
He could literally just go out into the wild and do whatever he
Stop
wants.
asking questions. You're asking too many. So here we are. So now he's tracked them. He knows where they are. Like I was saying, this whole entire movie is just a revenge movie. There's nothing else to it. They're not trying to get resources. They're not going anywhere. They don't care. They just, Quaritch wants to kill Jake Sully. He's bloodthirsty for Jake Sully in the entire movie. So now he's bringing Spider with him. So Quaritch is joining forces with the RDA's Marine Operations Division, led by Captain Mick Scoresby, who is, I believe, Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords. I believe that's his character.
That's cool. That's worth the watch. Right
Jermaine,
there.
yeah, he's in it. So I know we thought he was better than that. I know.
Why?
His beard wasn't good enough. So
He have his business socks on.
I know, because it's business time. So Quaritch then commandeers one of his whaling vessels that hunts Tulkuns to extract an anti-aging serum called Amrita. So the way they do this is they've got these ships that are like, think of just your regular whaling ships, the harpoons, the whole thing.
Okay.
They kill the whale, and then they go inside of the whale and like jab a giant needle up through its mouth into its brain, and they suck this giant yellow, like this big huge syringe basically that pulls yellow liquid out of it that's an anti-aging serum. So if you're going by what they're kind of mining in this movie, it's that, but it's really a small plot point.
Like oil of Olay?
Yes. Just like
they had that on Earth.
I know. We have this stuff. It's already here. Botox, Neutrogena.
Yeah.
It's here.
Okay.
So then Quaritch wants to raid the archipelago where he's tracked the ship to, and he kind of knows where Jake is. So he starts interrogating tribes one by one. Like, he is just going scorched earth, like, shows up at one island. They're like, is Jake here? And they're like, we don't know who Jake is. Like, who's this guy you're talking about? And they're telling the truth. They don't know who he is, but they just take flamethrowers to everything and burn their shit down. So he is just going scorched earth from one island to the next, burning it as he goes. Just to draw Jake out, because the more damage he does, the more he thinks that Jake will come and surrender and just be like, stop killing, here I am. So he keeps interrogating tribes, burning everything down. He orders the whalers to kill Tulkuns near the villages to draw Jake out. So now they're just killing whales to draw him out. And the whales are like their spirit animals. So they feel the pain of the whales when they die, and they're like, oh, we gotta go, do our thing and stop killing whales, and we'll surrender and all this. So Loak, who is Jake's son, mentally lings with Pycan, and so he does the ponytail thing into the whale's pony hole. Hey man, I'm trying to break this down here. So
yeah, is it into like their blowhole?
Oh, it's like inside, like he eats him like Moby Dick and goes inside of him, and like the brain hole, like the pony hole's inside the whale's mouth somewhere. So he's Pinocchio in this thing. So that nose is growing. So
God damn.
I know. So he links up with Pycan. He learns that the reason he was cast out of the rest of the Tulkuns tribe was because he went against the pacifist whale ways. Like, remember I mentioned they were a pacifist whale kind of species. And he attacked the whalers that killed his mother. That's why he was outcast. So all these whales are pacifists. Orca? Yes. So all he does is like gets revenge on the whalers for killing his mom, but it's against their pacifist ways. So he is exiled from the rest of the whales.
This guy had not an original thought.
No.
He's ripping off Orca, the classic film.
Half of this movie's already. It was the first.
That's
film.
what I'm.
It's just
that's
now.
What I'm saying. Rinse and repeat. So
don't let me forget to do an episode on Orca.
Can we do Free Willy?
All right.
We'll do a Free Willy Orca combo.
Okay. All right. So
all the Free Willies.
When the Water Clan, again called the Metkaina. I know there's a lot of strange words here, so I'm going to try to just keep it as simple as I can. So Water Clan, when they learn of the Tulkun killings, Loak warns Pycan Hey man, that's what you know him as, so that's what I'm gonna.
I know.
Yeah, I understood that.
So he's followed by his siblings and friends. They try to find Pike. They find Pycan being hunted, and Quaritch captures Loak, Soraya, and Took.
Just so I remember, Pycan is a J.R.R. Tolkien.
He's the whale. Pycan is the whale.
He is a J.R.R.
Yeah,
J.R.R. Tolkien. Got it.
Okay, so now both Jake's and the Water Chief's kids have been captured by Quaritch. So Jake and Gamora and the rest of the Water clan set out to confront the humans and rescue their kids, as they would do. You know, they took their kids. And Gamora is very mad about this, by the way. She is, like, hysterical about her kids being taken by the humans. So she is angry, she is sad, she is pissed off.
No.
So Quaritch then forces Jake to surrender. But Pycan attacks the whalers. So Pycan from the top rope, I'm not even joking, just literally like whale body flops onto the ship and just wreaks havoc on them.
He does the free willy jump.
Yeah, he does the free willy jump and just annihilates everybody. So that triggers a giant war, obviously, because Pycan just couldn't keep to himself after this. Nope. Tons of crew members dying left and right. He cripples the vessel and severs Scoresby's arm. So that guy that I was like Jermaine from Fight of the Conchords, arm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, gone. So Nataeum rescues Loak, Soraya. Nataeum was the older brother, the eldest son of Jake Sully.
Okay.
So old big brother rescues little brother and the chieftain's kid, the Water Chieftain's kid. But Spider, and he saves Spider also. Sorry.
Okay.
The elder brother is then fatally shot by Quaritch. So man down. So now an already hysterical Gamora is filled with as much. Yeah, she was already pissed off that her kids were taken, but now he killed one of her kids. So she
like
goes
the Patriot, like in the Patriot.
Yeah, like in the Patriot.
Yeah. Okay.
So Gamora wants revenge. So now she is pissed. So
like in Braveheart.
Exactly. Just like in Braveheart.
Yeah.
So now Jake Sully and Gamora are just devastated. They go back to save the remaining children that were recaptured. When they face Quaritch's team, Gamora flies into she just goes into just a grieving rage. She starts murdering all of them. I mean, just like this is like some Kill Bill stuff right here. So she just like sword, arrows, dead. She just wants all of them dead.
Is this part actually cool?
Kind of, yeah. It's
like I feel like this would be like the one part of the movie. I'm like, I'm into this.
This was if there was the best part of the movie, it was this. So
it's the crowning achievement.
It was. So
is it climaxing?
Is it what?
Climaxing, like, or is that where it?
I think they climaxed a long time ago.
So their water early.
So she just goes on a killing spree, basically. And she gets even more upset because during this whole battle, she breaks her bow that she got from her father, who was killed in the first movie.
She had in the first one,
right?
Yeah.
So now her bow is broken. So now she's like, it's mad, getting more mad, getting more mad, getting more mad. So now she breaks her bow, and that pisses her off more. So now it's Jake versus Quaritch. So we get the epic battle that we've been building up to throughout this entire movie. Quaritch then uses Kiri as a hostage. When Gamora, so Gamora does the same thing with Spider. So basically, Quaritch grabs Kiri, gun to her head.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tiny Sigourney. So then Gamora grabs Spider, does the same thing. So it's like, I have your kid, you have my kid. Even though Spider's been their like adopted son this whole time, she just like, screw you, I've got a gun to his head now.
Okay.
Quaritch first denies that he cares about his kid. He's like, I don't care, kill him, see if I care. So Neytiri like starts to like go in for the kill, and he's like, stop, never mind, I actually do like my kid. So they're kind of a Mexican standoff at this point. So then Jake, Quaritch, Neytiri, and Took become trapped inside of this sinking boat. Like, the boat starts to sink, and like he lets the kid go, she lets Spider go. Now they're kind of just running to save their own lives because the boat's going down. Because Pycan belly flopped on it and just took the whole thing down. Yeah. So they become trapped inside the boat as it's sinking. More fighting ensues. Jake then strangles Quaritch unconscious. So puts him in a chokehold, knocks him out. Quaritch then starts sinking to the bottom of the ocean with this boat. So then Jake is then rescued by Loak and Pycan. While Kiri rescues Neytiri, Gamora, and Tuk, who's the youngest daughter. So she basically does this by praying to the water, and all these fish light the way to Gamora and baby sister. So as they're sinking in this boat, they're going to drown. It's like super dark. There's no light. So
like perfect storm.
Right. Exactly. Just like that, actually. So Kiri summons these glow in the dark fish to light the way to Mom and kind of gives them the path out of the boat, which is just ridiculous.
Like Finding Nemo?
Just like Finding Nemo, yeah. It's just getting ripped off left and right here. So Spider jumps into the ocean and rescues Quaritch for some unknown reason. Just has to save him.
This is dad.
This is dad, but he's a real bad guy. So
he saves strong him enough to do that.
Yeah, he looked pretty tiny too.
Right. So anyway, he saves him. Quaritch is then retreating. Spider's like, I'm not going with you. These are my people. I'm staying here. So then he joins Jake's family, at which points he's welcomed like as a true son, like he's officially welcomed into the family.
How long had he been living with them?
His whole life. He was born on Pandora. He's never been to Earth.
How old is he supposed to be?
He's like, I'd say teenage. Maybe
how long did Jake
15, 16
before he
17.
became their chief? Like
16 years, but it's already assumed that he is the chief by that point, so who knows how long it took him to become the leader.
He became chief as soon as he rode that big red thing and everybody died in the first one.
I don't know. Is there an election that needs to happen? Who knows? Not addressed.
No, but they talked about how whoever rode that dude last was like the last great war chief.
Right. Yeah, in the first movie, and he just went bull riding on that. Yeah, he roped that hog and rode him to victory. So
that's the guy.
So then we have older brother Natam's funeral, who took the shot from Quaritch that sent Gamora into a rage. So they have the funeral. Jake informs the chief of his decision to leave the Metcaina and says, basically, I've caused you guys enough harm by taking refuge here. I'm going to take my family and we're going to move on. The chief then says, I appreciate you, and everything you did, but we're going to welcome you to stay here forever with us. So they do. Jake accepts. His family becomes part of the Water Clan. So before vowing to resume their campaign against the RDA, they're saying we're going to get revenge, but we're going to stay here with you guys. And that's kind of how the movie wraps up. So we have rinsed and repeated so many themes from one movie to another. With
Jake infiltrated another tribe, huh?
Yeah, he just infiltrated another tribe. So now he's like,
could be the chief pretty soon. By the
maybe,
next movie?
maybe the water chief dies under mysterious circumstances.
He'll be the chief.
Yeah,
I heard there's going to be red avatars.
I don't know. Isn't there supposed to be like 5 movies or something like that?
I thought it was 8.
2 down.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna ride this one to the grave.
Oh my god! So Quaritch lives on essentially because Spider saved him. So the same bad guy is going to return.
But he's an avatar. The whole thing is gonna just turn into him. Like they're gonna have his whole redemption arc, and he'll become just like an avatar buddy.
I don't know. I just don't see it because this movie is so stupid that Hollywood is going to keep greenlighting Pocahontas 3, Pocahontas 4, Pocahontas 5. It's never going to end. And people are still going to go and give them their money. And I'm going to be required out of the three of us to go see the third one so I can do this all again when it happens. And I'm going to be more mad after the third one. There was a point in this movie where I went with a buddy of mine to see it, right? And as soon as they got to the water tribe, I was like, I need an intervention, so I'm going to get a drink at the concession bar, right? I come back in 10 minutes. I was like, what'd I miss? And my buddy leans over and he's like, you missed swimming. So, I mean, that was there's so many filler scenes in this movie where they're just swimming around in the ocean with jellyfish and fish and different sea creatures that this movie could have been a 2-hour and 15-minute movie and not a 3-hour and 15-minute movie. So I don't know who James Cameron thinks he is, that he can waste 3 hours and 15 minutes of my very valuable time, but I am going to shove him into his stupid-ass submarine that gave him the fever dream to create this whole movie, and I'm going to sink that thing to the bottom of the ocean with cinder block boots strapped to it because he doesn't deserve to see the light of day after what he put on my plate for a second movie. I just don't understand that this guy can't respect the viewer enough to give us an original plot for a movie. I mean, come on. It's just the white man attacking the natives once again. It's the colonizers' revenge. That's what it is. The third movie is going to be, what's the third movie again? Oh, Quaritch is going to come back and wage war against Jake. Wasn't that the first two movies? Yeah, it was, but Quaritch is still alive because his stupid son saved him. This movie could have ended. If Spider just let him sink to the bottom of the ocean, we wouldn't have to do 5 movies. We could just be done. Jake and his family and Sigourney Weaver's spirit child could just live happily ever after in the ocean where they belong now. I just don't understand this guy and his lack of respect for everybody seeing this movie. I just don't understand it.
Same.
I just don't get it. The reason why he's able to make a third movie is the same reason why they're rebooting White Man Can't Jump. You saw that there's going to be a reboot of that? White Men Can't Jump?
Hold on.
Is Wesley Snipes coming
No,
back?
it's a complete reboot. White Men Can't Jump is being rebooted.
No.
That is how you know Hollywood is truly out of ideas. I just don't get it. And somebody has to sit in a studio somewhere and greenlight this and say, this is a good idea. We'll financially back this movie for you to create it. We already know White Men Can't Jump. Why do we have to do a second one? We already know Blue Cats have fought off the White Man 2 movies in a row. What's going to be different in the third one? What's he going to kill Jake? Now we don't have to have a third, fourth, and fifth movie? Cool. Kill Jake for all I care. That solves everybody's problem. Quaritch wants Jake Sully to die. Just let him go. Just put him on a plate and hand him to Quaritch and just be like, you know what? For the sake of this entire moon, Pandora, let's sacrifice one single person. It's the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the one. We just give him Jake. Cool. There's going to be some pissed off people, but we all live through it. Quaritch might just F off back to Earth after this and go home. We don't know. But the whole movie was a revenge movie of him hunting Jake Sully. Let Jake die. There were clans and tribes and islands being burnt to the ground because he wanted to find Jake. So he was just like, where's Francis? Just waterboarding all these blue cats, right? So that's what this whole second movie was that made no sense. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. The whole movie was Deadpool trying to find Francis. I mean, that was it. You guys all saw Deadpool, right? You know how he just goes and kills one person after another going, where's Francis? That was what Quaritch did with this whole, going scorched earth on these islands. It's just James Cameron doesn't have an original thought in his brain. This dude I just don't get it. What's the last good movie that he made? Terminator 2? Judgment Day?
Great movie.
Hang on, I'm pulling up James Cameron's filmography here. I gotta know. What's the last good movie that you can think of that you saw him create?
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Right. That's
Yeah.
so
T2.
recent movie. Oh God, where do you got?
Titanic.
No, they're already listing. They're already listing Avatar 3 and 4. So Avatar 3 is coming out in 2024, and Avatar 4 is 2026. So we've already got those coming. So obviously we know Jake Sully ain't gonna die.
So you're ready. You're already penciled in for another 6 hours.
God, I hate it. At least
Minimum.
There was something that I read somewhere where this initial Avatar 2 was like a 9-hour movie that he cut down to 3.5 hours. Like his first cut was like a 9-hour cut.
If a director cut comes out, you have to watch it.
No, I don't.
You have to. It's for science.
It's for
the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put you guys through this. So if I have to go up on the cross and die for everybody else, I guess that's my duty. And I guess for you guys,
for everyone,
I would do that. I would do it for you guys. Nobody else.
So
I'm looking at movies that he directed. The dude doesn't have nearly the list that somebody might think James Cameron does for his work.
No, he only does $1 billion movies.
So previous to Avatar in 2009, do you know what the most recent movie he did prior to that was?
Terminator 2.
Terminator 3.
Titanic. He didn't make a movie between 97 and 2009 because he was strictly working on Avatar.
What about Aquaman starring Vincent Chase?
Oh, come on, dude. Are we really bringing like Entourage into this? So he actually has a very small list of movies he's directed. So the very first one he did was back in 82. I would have thought like let's see, James Cameron is 68 years old. So going back to 82 actually isn't that far. His first movie was Piranha 2, The Spawning. Then he went...
Good one.
Don't lie, you didn't see that movie.
No.
Yeah. So he goes from 82 to 84. 1984 was The Terminator. Then he did Aliens in 86. Then he did The Abyss in 89. And then Terminator 2 Judgment Day was 1991.
Best one.
He also did True Lies. Respect. It's a decent flick. After True Lies was Titanic. And then the Avatar flicks. That's it. So he doesn't have this massive list of movies he's done. Because he wasted a decade on Blue Cats.
He should make 4 True Lies movies.
Yeah.
I would rather watch Arnold Schwarzenegger fly around in an F-14 shooting in a building.
Oh, that part was so badass.
Yeah, that part was great.
When he rides the horse through the mall?
Yeah, oh, man. You remember when he interrogated his own wife?
Yeah, and he made her sexies dance for him?
Yep.
Do you remember when she drops the gun and it goes down the stairs and like shoots like
everybody?
20 dudes?
Yeah. And it was like slow motion.
Remember Tom Arnold was Arnold Schwarzenegger's partner?
I do. So this is back in a better time. But I just, like, going back to Avatar, I just don't... There isn't a litter box big enough to put this pile of shit into, is my point. They just don't make a litter box large enough for us to roll up Avatar 1 and then Avatar 2 on the way to water because half the movie was spent going to the water. By the time we got there, we lost the plot anyway. So, I don't know. They just don't make litter boxes big enough. I just don't understand how Hollywood can keep greenlighting these. And they're like, oh, this isn't original, but it makes us money. So, I will say this, though. I did see the movie in Dolby 3D. It was a beautiful movie to see, like visually stunning. Doesn't make up for the plot. doesn't make up for it. They thought that would do it. Like, oh, the technology's not there. Well, you know what? Your brain's not there either, James Cameron. So I don't know where you think the technology is going to fix what's wired incorrectly with your neurological system up here. Like, no. I won't stand for it. I won't do it. I won't do it. I can't do it, man.
The episode has been a tour de force.
Can't do it, man. I won't put you guys through that. I wouldn't expect you to ever watch this.
He's broken. He's broken.
This movie really brought up some bad memories of seeing this second movie, because I'm like, I thought I had to see it. Like, I had to know. And once I knew, I regretted needing to know. Like, nobody should have to go through this twice. If you saw the first movie, that's enough. If you didn't, you don't need to anyway, because the first movie leads into however many he's going to make. We've got 4 on the menu right now. Who knows if there's a 5th? How long can they keep beating this dead horse for? I mean, we got the same outcome from the first movie that we did in the second. It's Quaritch lost, Jake Sully won. All right, let's do something new for the second movie. Nah, dog. Quaritch is going to lose again, and Jake Sully is just going to keep living. So I can't. I can't understand. Like, I can't understand where you go from here. What haven't we talked about? Are we going to go see the desert cats now? Like,
yeah.
No.
Yes.
Lava cats.
You're going to go see the desert cats. They're going to go to the city cats. You're going to go see the suburban cats. What are we up to now? That's
you got the soccer
3,
mom cats and the
4,
burbs,
5.
and they're all doing Percocets while they're at their
There's going to be the Karen cats.
Oh no, this is gonna lead into the Avatar: The Airbender series.
Oh god, no!
Oh shit! Mega crossover event.
Could you imagine if this is all just one big tease?
Mountains for the air cats.
No.
To lead into the next.
What if when it gets to movie 8, the ending is Jake Sully, and he's on like a hospital bed, and it's all been a fever dream from when he became a paraplegic.
Oh. Could you imagine this is all just a dream? He's been in a coma this whole time.
What if this is the dream on the trip up? Because it's like they have to go into like a
so he's dead,
cryo sleep before.
That's true. They are put in like a cryo sleep. Maybe it's just him dreaming the whole time.
Cryo sleep, and like none of this ever.
And then zooms out, and he's just like he had a wet dream.
He had a wet dream, and it's just Gamora.
Yeah, his khakis are just soaked.
But actually, Gamora. Then we lead into Guardians 3 or 4, whichever one's next.
Could you imagine like Guardians 3 goes to Pandora and Gamora meets Neytiri?
That would be
the MCU could break into any canon right now because they have the whole multiverse going on.
Maybe we're cracking the code here without even like knowing it. What if this is all just one big tease for a crossover?
They're setting up Marvel vs. DC right now. They're going to clean up the DC timeline, and then in the next like 5 years we'll have Marvel vs. DC. It's going to be great.
We need Marvel vs. Pandora.
That's 10-year plan.
That's a 10-year plan. God, please don't.
They gotta do it into the Avatar: Last Airbender first.
We could just be done with this with one big, just nuke Pandora.
So, are you giving this movie a thumbs up?
Nope. Nope.
2 thumbs up.
So, if I'm scoring do you want me to score Avatar 2 on the way to water?
Well, we need a rating system that we can go back to.
5.
What do you rate this on the Taco Bell scale? Which, if you remember, is
this movie is a soggy ass soft taco. It is so soggy because it's so bogged down with oil that they left over from the night before's seasoned beef, and they're just like, you know what, the viewer won't notice this in a second movie, so we're just gonna dump all this old oil into the new Avatar on the way to water, and we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of seasoned beef in there, but it's not enough. to absorb all the fat and oil that we poured into this soft taco. So it's just dripping out from the bottom, and it's just making a mess everywhere, and it can't contain itself at all. And we're just going to make $1 billion off of this in like the first month or whatever it was. I don't know. They just made so much money. It like, makes me so mad.
Very like 1 or 2 billion, something absurd.
It's very upsetting to me. I'm very upset about this because there's so many better movies out there that deserve to have the record as like the top box office movie. And you know what? You know what should have had it? Top Gun Maverick should have held on to it this year. And Avatar 2 swept the leg and stole that from Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, dude, they did like $1 billion in the first weekend or some crazy thing like that. Like first week or it's absurd.
You guys saw Maverick, right?
No.
You didn't see it? Matt, did you see it?
I saw some of it on YouTube.
You didn't see Top Gun Maverick?
Nah, man.
Oh, I'm so upset.
It just came out on streaming.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm going to stream it.
Okay. Do you guys both have it ready to go streaming?
I'm more. I get like one show a night. So
okay.
I usually don't watch.
I need you guys to like in the next 2 weeks. I need you guys to each watch Top Gun Maverick because it is the perfect movie. It is the best movie that came out in 2022, and it's not close.
Okay. There's not. There's like maybe one good movie a year for like the last 10 years.
Top Gun Maverick.
Not usually hard to take that.
Top Gun Maverick, dude. It's honestly like the best movie I've seen in several years. I was just using last year as the benchmark, but it is so good. I mean, you've all seen the original, right?
Duh.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so take that, but then amplify it times 100 and all practical effects. Like all of the pilots were actually, like the actors were in the planes while they were filming. So you see the faces get sucked back with all the G-forces. It's all real. So, yeah.
They could do that with CG.
Dude, I bought the 4K thing with the special features and watched all of it. Like, Tom Cruise put them through military training and stuff. He like started them with like little tiny Cessna planes to get them like as for a feel in the air, and then worked them up like plane to plane to plane to the jets, and it's phenomenal. It's so much better than Avatar 2. You guys shouldn't watch Avatar 2. You should all watch Top Gun Maverick.
It's true.
I will do that. I'll probably do both, but I'll watch Maverick.
I'm not going to watch.
Don't do both.
I'm not going to do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I just recap the whole second movie for you. You don't need to see it.
And the first one.
I did the first one just to build the base for those of you like Matt that had never seen either of them.
Yeah, it was perfect. I don't need to see them now.
Because it's a big pile of shit that nobody should have to watch ever. Ever. You shouldn't have to watch the first one. You shouldn't have to watch the second one. Should stop giving James Cameron your money. Should send him to the retirement home where he belongs. Maybe he could think of a better Terminator movie, but this is stupid. This is stupid. Don't have litter boxes big enough for the pile of shit that is Avatar. Don't have it. We don't have time for this. John's like, ooh.
He looks frightened.
Yeah, good.
Look how scared he looks.
He's a little bit scared, but yeah, no. Stop giving James Cameron your money. We shouldn't trust him after this. We shouldn't trust him with anything after this. Old man lost his marbles, dude. He's
Titanic too.
Yeah, could you imagine? Like, that would be, after seeing Avatar 2, completely appropriate to do a Titanic sequel.
They're either doing a sequel or they're going to do a remake because they got to keep the IP.
But we don't need that.
He's right.
So it'll happen soon.
Well, is the Titanic going to sink again? Just like Quaritch went back to Pandora again?
They're going to fix it, though. They're going to have
them sequels and stuff all the time.
They're going to have Jack live at the end. Because there's going to be two.
He's going to actually fit on the board that he should have fit on the whole time?
Yeah.
Just in this one James Cameron thing, they brought back like 3 characters that died in the previous film like 20 years ago.
Yeah, they just found a loophole and said, well, we killed the bad guy, but we're just going to bring him back. Let's not create a new threat. Let's just recycle the old one. Stupid.
If it ain't broke, don't
It is broken. That's the point. The whole plot is broken. The whole thing is broken. It's a stupid movie. This is 2 stupid movies. No. Don't do it. You stay strong, Matt. You don't need to go watch this. John,
I'm not going to. You trust me.
If you saw the first movie, you saw too much already.
I like the first one.
No, you didn't. See, he's brainwashed. Yeah, James Cameron's brainwashed you.
Look at him. Look at his face.
I do like James Cameron movies. I like all of all the movies you named on his little list. They were all pretty much bangers.
Yeah, except Avatar and Avatar 2. Yeah.
I haven't seen the second one, but what you have said sounds pretty bad.
It's pretty stupid. Yeah. His
green screen background's gonna be him.
It's disappointing that they brought back a bunch of people that died and or didn't exist or have some weird immaculate.
It just felt like they completely made the movie not matter, the first movie, by bringing back the same villains, like the same guy and his posse. Like, you fought him off in an entire 3-hour movie the first time. Then you just said, we're just going to resurrect them as Blue Cats and do it again. The disrespect to the viewers.
I don't understand the whole, if you had the ability to just put people's minds inside the cats, why didn't you just do that in the beginning? It seems way more efficient than the, disconnecting the brain thing.
You're asking the right questions now. You're coming out of the James Cameron trance that he had you in since 2009. Now you're asking the right questions.
I like the first one. I'm just saying that.
Open your third eye, bro.
Open the one up here.
I never thought they should.
Open the eye up here.
I thought they should have made a second one, but they had to keep the IP alive.
Open your other 2 eyes.
If you've got that one open these 2, because that second movie is a turd. It's a big, huge cat turd. It's a blue cat turd.
I haven't seen it. That's what I hear. I hear it's been kind of very blue.
It's a lot of swimming.
Apparently the next one's going to be very red.
You've done great work.
I gave you guys the major plot points.
You've done a service to this country. You're a national treasure.
We will share this with the world.
Good, because more people need to hear the good word that you don't need to see Avatar 2. I mean, it would have been different if we're just the way of water, right? Okay, let's just be at the water. Why did we need to spend a third of the movie on the way to water?
I don't know.
It was dude, they got on their flying wyvern things, and it was a Greyhound bus trip across the country to go to the water. They just flew for so long. They flew for a long time. The kids were getting tired on the back of those things and passing out. This wasn't a quick trip, dude. They got on the Greyhound bus and trekked across the country. We didn't need that. Why did we need to watch that whole thing? There's so much fluff in this movie that could have been taken out.
Got travel by map. It's way quicker.
Just saying, dude. Fast travel points. I don't know.
Southwest
has great rates. They could have done that. Got there in half the time. But no, we're just going to fly our stupid cat dragon thing that we've pony-holed it. We pony-holed this thing all the way across the country. I don't know. It's a stupid movie. It's a really stupid movie. And now you guys have tasked me with seeing 2 more of these at least. So I'm pissed off at both of you tonight for that. So, now I've got this that I've got to look forward to.
You got to prepare a few years to prepare.
Yeah, look.
Next year.
Look. There's a reason that you've been tasked with these.
It's because I'm strong. Not many people could do this.
It's because you can run faster, jump higher, frolic harder.
Goodbye.